Hey, it's Elisa, half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm featuring this Mystical Shaman Oracle. I love this deck in every reading this month because this month I'm doing a giveaway, so one lucky subscriber is going to get this deck. All you have to do to enter the drawing is just to subscribe to the channel. I want to note, however, that if your privacy settings don't allow me to be aware of your subscribership, like I won't be able to put your name in the hat because there's no way for me to know. But if you're a subscriber, you're automatically entered. Last month we did a few free readings and that was really fun. So this month we're giving away my beloved Mystical Shaman. Actually, it's not my deck, but I'll send the deck to you. So that's fun. I'm gonna be doing some community-like building things such as that. So I'm gonna pull a couple cards from this deck. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I think I'm gonna pull one more to get going on this reading, but you know, for sure, there's some crazy stuff going down in the universe right now. Okay, so at the bottom of this deck we have the arrow, which is really interesting because this was in yesterday's reading, and it's been really prominent in the readings for the last couple months. It's all about, you know, when you're in alignment with the universe and your arrow is going to hit the mark, you know. But it goes really well with the other cards because we have the sun, we have lightning again, which this card has been coming up in a ton of readings as well. So I'll link maybe the most recent one, which will probably refer back to some of the other ones, but for sure a very prevalent message during this time of transition. And then Holy Mountain. So, which I think we've gotten this one recently too. But anyways, it's like you're in alignment, you know, and there's obviously this big shift that's happening, a huge paradigm shift just globally with everyone. But this is a good omen that, you know, you're in alignment for things to work out in your favor, you know. And then we have the sun. So this is a card of just sort of like, I mean, the meaning of the card talks about, you know, the energy of the sun, and also just like, you know, like a little sprout, you know, it's just like opening up to the energy of the sun. And so it's sort of like inspiring you, like, to be like that sprout, you know, to like be open to like engage the world out there, you know, and receive, you know, the energy from the sun, you know. And then we have lightning, which this is a card of just sort of like kind of being hit with a jolt of awareness from the universe, from the higher powers, where it's just like there's a sudden paradigm shift, you know, which we're all going through that right now because of coronavirus and quarantine, and you know. But like these cards are what these cards are saying is that, like, you know, don't be discouraged by everything that's going on because you're actually in alignment, you know. Be inspired, go out and play and engage the sun and the world around you, and take this as an opportunity because there's like something that's coming into your awareness that's going to change everything, you know, and it's actually a good thing, you know. And then the Holy Mountain, you know, it speaks to, you know, people are kind of like seeking guidance from like the higher powers, and so they'll go to this high place, you know, to try and reach the heavens and reach that guidance, you know. And so it's just sort of like that guidance is around, you know. You have that guidance, you know, and it's you know, you want to seek it out, but like know that, don't recoil in fear because there's something that's coming into your awareness that's really profound, and like you're not going to like, you're not going to soak it up unless you're like actually going out into the world and engaging, you know. And this awareness is profound, and it's going to like raise your consciousness, you know. And it's like we're all going through this right now, but like don't worry, because the tools are around us. Like our arrow is going to hit the mark, you know. So don't be discouraged, you know. And so I'm going to Ethereal Visions to get some overall energies for the reading. And it's interesting because at the bottom we have the Nine of Wands, which was at the bottom of yesterday's reading too. So I'm going to have to link yesterday's reading, because there's like both of these came out in yesterday's reading. And it's really interesting to me too, because this really speaks to a reading that I did a few months ago that was right after my father died, you know. And it was like the arrow hitting the mark. And, you know, like this is the Wounded Warrior card. Like it's a card of just sort of like being beaten and sort of like, you know, feeling like you have a little ounce of fight in you, but like you're just like really discouraged and kind of wanting to give up, but you're not going to, you know, but you feel like it because it's just like overwhelming, you know. And like but the Wounded Warrior also, for me, it has a special meaning, because like that's my dad, you know. My dad is a Vietnam vet. He was wounded in combat. He got shot. They sent him to a hospital in Japan. That's where he met my mom. That's how I was born. And so that speaks to my soul journey, you know. So it's interesting that both of those cards came out today and yesterday, you know. And like something about that is coming into awareness, you know. And it's going to change, like it's going to change your path, and it's going to change how you connect to the world, you know, because it's like a shift in your awareness, like a lightning bolt shift. Okay. This came out yesterday too. Six of Cups. So this is a card of connecting with love from the past, maybe like a soulmate connection. So that's at the bottom. And we have the Hanged Man, the World, and then we have the Nine of Cups. So this is speaking to like sort of taking a step back to get some perspective, you know, which is interesting because it fell right out under the sun, you know, which is sort of like go out, engage the world. And we have this card of stepping back and reflecting, you know. So these are like kind of in contrast to each other. And this fell like right on top of that. So it's just sort of like, I'm going to pull the other cards to get some context for that, because it's an interesting tension there. And then we have the World, and this is interesting because this is like the end of one cycle and the beginning of another cycle, and that fell out right on top of the lightning. Like something is coming to your awareness, and it's going to be a complete paradigm shift, and it's going to change how you inhabit the world, you know. And then the next card we have is like a Nine of Cups, you know, which is a card of like your wishes coming true, and that's coming out right under this like guidance that we're receiving from the heavens. So it's like almost like something's going to come out into our awareness, and like maybe like some way that you're perceiving things or behaving is blocking you from getting your wish, you know. But like this wisdom is going to come to you, you know. And maybe part of that is from taking a step back, you know. But I'm going to pull some more cards to see where this is going, because this is interesting, because it's like, I feel like that has come up in a number of readings in the last couple weeks, where it's just sort of like, yeah, there's this lesson that you need to learn in order to bring this new stage in, you know. Like it's all connected, you know. And at the bottom of this, I'm going to the White Sage, my Minneapolis deck. I love this deck and the artwork. But at the bottom we have the Four of Wands. So this is like a marriage, family, stability card. And interesting. Yeah, so that came out a lot in like yesterday's reading, and it was just sort of like, I feel like this theme has come up a lot in the last couple of weeks. I'll have to link some of the readings. But yeah, like some lesson that's being learned, and sort of like where you're not seeing how you're like engaging the world, that's sort of like bringing about or maybe blocking this marriage family stability situation from coming in, you know. And so that's like going to come, maybe that's the lightning bolt that's going to come into awareness. So interesting, because right when I said that, like, that's the lightning bolt that's going to come into awareness, and I get this flops out, the Ace of Swords. So some truth, you know, that's coming online. Okay, I'm going to pull one more. All right. Okay. So at the bottom now we have the Ace of Wands. So we had the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords, and this Ace of Wands came out, I feel like it came out twice in yesterday's reading. So yesterday's reading obviously has some relevance to this reading. But okay, so we've got the Magician, the Knight of Pentacles, and we've got the Page of Swords. So this is a card of manifestation, and it's just like you have all the tools you need to bring what you want into fruition. So it's just sort of like interesting, because it's like this taking a step back and getting perspective is flanked by these sort of action cards. You know, this Manifestor and this Sun, like go out, engage the world, you've got all the tools you need. But then, you know, in the middle here we have this Reflection card. So that's interesting. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is kind of like, you know, this is making a dedicated effort towards something, but it's like kind of like slow and steady wins the race. And it's interesting because it falls out right under this lightning bolt and this world, which these are like super paradigm shifty cards, but yet we have the Knight of Pentacles falling on top of that, which is like, yeah, this is a huge shift in awareness, but it's not like it's going to be like a gentle, like it's not going to be like a shocking. I mean, the shift is huge itself, but like maybe the timing of it is going to be a little more gentle. And then we have the Page of Swords. So this is a message of truth or clarity coming in, you know. So like it's interesting because it fell right on top of this enlightening awareness that's going to bring your wish in. And then we have this message of truth or clarity that's coming in. So, you know, like I was saying, there's like something that's like going to come into your awareness that you don't realize it's like blocking your wish from coming in. And that's interesting too, because this Page of Swords can also indicate like a stalker kind of energy. And there's this whole thread about this stalker energy that where it has been blocking or pressing this love from coming in, you know. So it's just sort of like, this stalker is like manifesting in the three-dimensional world some sort of blockage, you know. And so maybe that whatever is causing this blockage is going to come into your awareness. But yeah, if that's a storyline that resonates, there's a whole thread about it called Stalkers. Okay, so then, this is so wild. We get the Four of Swords, you know. So the Four of Swords and the Hangman are like similar energies where they're like taking a step back, reflecting. And that came right over this Magician and the Sun, where it's just like, go out and engage, but like reflect, you know. So it's just sort of like, it kind of goes along with this whole thing. Like there's this huge paradigm shift that's happening, but it's like slow, you know. And so, you know, the change itself is huge, but it's just like, and don't like hide away from it, like engage, and you have the tools, but take your time. Because maybe it's like so huge that if you like try to just like make it happen all at once, it's just going to be so overwhelming, you know. And so it's just like, so this message is like cautioning you to like take your time, like this is big, you know. And then we have this Ace of Swords, you know. So this message, this new beginning in truth, this new beginning in clarity, you know, it's this huge lightning bolt of a change, you know. It's changing everything, you know, but yet it's taking its sweet time, you know. But this is good because the thing about the Knight of Pentacles is because most of the Knights are pretty rash. And so they can be kind of fly-by-night like players, you know. But this Knight actually builds things to last because he's not in a hurry, because he builds a stable foundation. So it's like this, whatever this is like earth-shattering. But yet, it's sustainable at the same time, you know. And the reason is because you're like taking your time with this shift, you know. And then at the end, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is kind of like, you know, the Frank Sinatra song, like, I did it my way, you know, like you're getting your wish, you know, and you're exposing this truth, and you're getting like this guidance from like the higher powers. But it's like this, whatever this is, it's happening on your own terms, you know, and you, this can be like a swinging singles card, but it's also just like someone who's like doing things on their own terms. Like they don't need anyone else, you know. But it's also the card that happens right before the Ten of Pentacles. It's sort of like you're set, you know, for your happiness, abundance, everything to come in, because you've done all the work on yourself and you're like ready now, you know, you're ready for that energy to come in, you know. So that comes in right before. I'm going to pull 3 cards from Ethereal Visions to get some guidance about how we're going to move through this energy. But, yeah, it's been interesting just like how everyone's responding to the coronavirus, and like it's obviously causing like earth-shattering change for everyone across the board, you know. But it's also just been so fascinating just to see how different people respond to it, because it's so huge, you know, and everybody's got like their own way of being with it, you know. Okay, so, all right, okay, so then I got the Six of Cups again. This card came out twice, and it was in yesterday's reading. So this is a soulmate from the past energy, you know. And so this is encouraging you to go out and play, and that you have the tools to manifest this connection. Like, but take your time, you know. Don't rush it, you know, like, because you want to build something that's going to last, you know. And maybe if this is someone from the past, like there's some reason why it didn't work out the first time. And so that needs to be like looked at, you know. And so it's encouraging you to like take your time. And then we have, this is interesting. So on top of this like lightning bolt paradigm shift change and like this truth being told, we have the Knight of Pentacles. That's like, you know, slow and steady wins the race. You know, it's like, this is huge, but take your time, you know. And then we had the Knight of Pentacles fall out again. 2 Knight of Pentacles. So it's just like a double message, like take your time, you know. So we've gotten that twice, 2 double messages, you know. We got the double message here of like, yeah, this is huge, but take your time, you know. And then we get it again. So it's just like, this is like a quadruple message, like, this is huge, we get it, but take your time, you know. And then on top of this, getting your wish, you know, there's clarity, there's truth, you're getting guidance from above, you're doing it on your terms, and you have like this brand new beginning, the Ace of Pentacles. So it's there and it's stable, like this is a pentacle, you know, but like, take your time. This is huge. It's kind of like a whole new era of life, really, you know. And so, don't rush it, you know. And then I'm going to the Work Your Light Oracle, which is, but this is beautiful. So on the bottom, it says, Warrior Woman, have you answered your deepest calling? I love that. I mean, I resonate with that. With the warrior energy for sure. And in fact, my Instagram tag is Asian Warrior Princess, because I am an Asian warrior princess in real life. Because my mom's Asian and my dad's a warrior, and I'm their daughter. So I'm going to read you from the book what it says. But yeah, this card I for sure resonate with, because, you know, obviously I'm a woman. I am a warrior. I have a warrior spirit, undoubtedly. And that's the card that came out. So I'm going to read it to you. It says, you are here for a reason. You are being called to bravely pave a path. Have you answered your highest and deepest calling? Live a heart and soul-led life it's not all fluffy and smooth sailing. Living a heart and soul-led life requires courage to triumph over fear. So often our fears are the gatekeepers to our greatest gifts. And the more resistance we have toward answering a call, the more important it is for our soul's growth. Sometimes fear is an indication that we are facing the right way. Joan of Arc was known for her courage and her famous line, I'm not afraid, I was born to do this. But the thing about courage is that it's not possible without fear. So if you're feeling afraid, what is needed is courage, and courage comes from living from the heart. Think of your fears as opportunities to expand rather than things that are holding you hostage. If you look at your fears in light of this, then as uncomfortable as you might feel, it's actually a sign that you're on the right track. It's here, you know. But just don't get overwhelmed. Take your time. It's scary. This is a whole new way of being in the world. But you have the tools to make this happen. You know, go out in the world and play. Because you're going to learn something profound. And it's the reason why you're here. So don't forget.